I started with nothing. Absolutely nothing. No money in my pocket, no connections who could open doors, no family business to inherit, no special talent that made me stand out, no education from prestigious universities, nothing. And I want you to understand something very clearly right now. I'm not saying this to impress you. I'm saying this because if I could build something from zero, you can too. But only if you understand what actually works and what doesn't. Only if you stop believing the lies that society tells you about success. Only if you're willing to do what most people refuse to do. In this video, I'm going to tell you exactly how to start from nothing, step by step, principle by principle, mistake by mistake to avoid. This is not motivation. This is a blueprint. If you apply what I'm about to share, your life will change, not because I'm special. Because these principles work for anyone who actually uses them. Stay until the end, take notes, and most importantly, take action. Let me destroy an illusion right now. Nobody's coming to rescue you. No wealthy relative will suddenly appear. No lottery ticket will change your life. No government program will lift you out of your situation. No lucky break will magically solve your problems. I see so many young people waiting for the right moment, waiting for better conditions, waiting for someone to notice them, waiting for opportunities to fall from the sky. I wasted 3 years of my life waiting. 3 years. I kept telling myself that I would start when I had more money. I would start when I knew the right people. I would start when I learned enough. I would start when the economy improved. I would start when I felt ready. Do you know what happened during those 3 years? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I stayed exactly where I was while life passed me by. Here's what I learned. The perfect conditions never arrive. The right moment doesn't exist. Readiness is a myth. The only thing that exists is now. This moment. Today. You have 2 choices. You can wait for life to happen to you, or you can go out and create the life you want. There's no third option. Stop copying what others are doing. Stop looking for blueprints to follow exactly. Stop waiting for permission. Your path is yours to build. Nobody else can walk it for you. Nobody else will build it for you. I need to tell you something that might hurt. If you're spending hours every day on social media, scrolling through videos, watching other people live their lives while you sit on the couch, you're committing financial suicide. Slow, invisible, but absolutely deadly. Time is the only resource you cannot get back. Money you can earn again. Connections you can build. Skills you can develop. But time, once it's gone forever. I calculated something once that shocked me. Between the ages of 18 and 30, you have approximately 105,000 waking hours. That's it. That's all you get during your most energetic, most creative, most physically capable years. Every hour you spend scrolling Instagram is an hour you will never get back. Every evening you waste watching television is an evening stolen from your future. I'm not saying never relax. I'm not saying never enjoy entertainment. I'm saying be honest with yourself about how much time you're wasting versus how much time you're investing. I see 4 types of people when it comes to time. First type, they waste almost all of it. They work their job, come home, consume entertainment until sleep, repeat. Years pass, nothing changes. They wonder why life isn't getting better. Second type, they're aware they're wasting time, but they can't stop. They feel guilty while scrolling. They promise themselves they'll change tomorrow. Tomorrow never comes. Third type, they invest some time but inconsistently. 1 week, they're productive. Next week they fall back into old patterns. Progress happens but slowly, painfully. Fourth type, they treat time like money. They budget it. They track it. They invest it deliberately. They know exactly where their hours go, and they make sure most hours go toward building their future. Which type are you? Be honest. I've watched hundreds of young people try to build something from nothing. Most fail, not because they lack intelligence, not because they lack opportunity. They fail because they make the same predictable mistakes over and over. Mistake number 1, living for other people's approval. They make decisions based on what others will think. They choose careers to impress their parents. They buy things to impress their friends. They post on social media to impress strangers. Their entire life is a performance for an audience that doesn't actually care. I did this for years. I bought clothes I couldn't afford because I wanted people to think I was successful. I pretended to know things I didn't know because I wanted people to think I was smart. I agreed with opinions I didn't hold because I wanted people to like me. And you know what? None of it worked. People saw through it. And even if they didn't, their approval never satisfied me. It was like drinking salt water. The more I got, the more I needed. Mistake number 2, chasing fast money. They want to be rich by next month. They fall for schemes. They look for shortcuts. They try to skip the hard work and go straight to the reward. And when fast money comes, it leaves just as fast. Easy come, easy go. This is not a cliche. This is a law. Mistake number 3, all hope, no action. They dream big. They talk about their plans. They feel inspired after watching videos like this, but they never actually do anything. Inspiration without action is worthless. Motivation without execution is entertainment. Mistake number 4, depending on people who don't deserve that trust. They give their emotional stability to others. They let someone else's opinion determine their mood. They let someone else's behavior determine their actions. This is slavery, emotional slavery. If you're making any of these mistakes, stop today, not tomorrow, today. Your self-esteem is the foundation everything else is built on. Without it, nothing works. With it, everything becomes possible. But here's what most people don't understand. Self-esteem is not something you find. It's something you build through action, through keeping promises to yourself, through becoming someone you respect. I used to have no self-esteem, none. I would walk into a room and assume everyone was better than me. I would speak and assume nobody wanted to hear what I had to say. I would try something and assume I would fail. This belief created my reality. Because I expected failure, I didn't try hard. Because I didn't try hard, I failed. The failure confirmed my belief. The cycle continued. How did I break it? Small wins every single day. I made a promise to myself. Wake up at 6. I kept it. Small win. I made another promise. Exercise for 30 minutes. I kept it. Another win. Read for 1 hour. Kept it. Win. These tiny victories accumulated. Each one was proof that I could trust myself. Each one was a brick in the foundation of self-esteem. Do you understand? Self-esteem is not about affirmations in the mirror. It's not about positive thinking. It's about evidence. Evidence that you are someone who does what they say they will do. Build that evidence daily. And stop measuring yourself by other people's standards. Stop comparing your beginning to someone else's middle. Stop letting external validation determine your internal state. The only opinion that matters long-term is your own. Be someone you respect. Everything else follows. Every young person wants to get rich quickly. I understand the desire, I had it too. But I need to tell you the truth about fast money. Fast money almost always leads to fast loss. There's a reason lottery winners often end up broke within 5 years. There's a reason quick business schemes collapse. There's a reason shortcuts lead to dead ends. Here's why. When money comes quickly, you haven't developed the skills to keep it. You haven't built the habits to manage it. You haven't grown into the person who deserves it. The money arrives, but you're not ready for it. So it leaves. Sustainable wealth is built slowly, skill by skill, habit by habit, year by year. This is not what people want to hear, but it's the truth. I know someone who made $200,000 in 6 months from a risky scheme. He felt like a genius. He bought a car, expensive clothes, moved to a fancy apartment. Within 18 months, he was worse than broke. He was in debt. Why? Because he never learned the fundamentals. He skipped the foundation and went straight to the penthouse. The penthouse collapsed. Compare that to another person I know. She started with nothing. For 5 years, she earned modestly while building skills. Year 6, her income doubled. Year 8, it tripled. Year 10, she was genuinely wealthy. And she stayed wealthy because she grew into it. The money matched her development. Which path will you choose? The fast path that leads nowhere, or the slow path that leads everywhere? Listen carefully to this. You're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. This is not poetry, this is science. Your brain adapts to your environment. Your standards calibrate to what surrounds you. Your beliefs absorb from the people near you. If you spend your time with people who waste time, you will waste time. If you spend your time with people who complain, you will complain. If you spend your time with people who have small dreams, your dreams will shrink. I had to make a painful decision years ago. I had friends I had known since childhood, good people, kind people, people I genuinely cared about, but they had no ambition. They were content with average lives. Every time I spent time with them, I felt my ambition draining. I felt my standards lowering. I felt myself becoming comfortable with mediocrity. I didn't stop caring about them, but I stopped spending significant time with them. I deliberately sought out people who were ahead of me, people who intimidated me with their success, people who made me feel small because of how much they had achieved. This was uncomfortable, but this discomfort was growth. Your environment is a choice. It might not feel like a choice. It might feel like circumstance, but it is a choice. You can stay where you are, or you can seek out a new environment that pulls you upward instead of dragging you down. I'm going to give you a framework that will change how you see relationships forever. Every person in your life is either an investment or an expense. Investment people add value. They support your growth. They challenge you to be better. They tell you the truth even when it hurts. They share your values. They have goals of their own. Time spent with them returns more than it costs. Expense people drain value. They complain constantly. They discourage your ambitions. They gossip. They take without giving. They have no vision for their own lives. Time spent with them costs more than it returns. Be ruthless about this evaluation. I'm not saying be cruel to people. I'm not saying abandon everyone who struggles. I'm saying be honest about who is helping you grow and who is holding you back. I had to cut people from my life. People who had been around for years. It was painful. Some called me arrogant. Some called me selfish. But my life improved dramatically within months. Energy I had been wasting on maintaining draining relationships was suddenly available for building my future. You don't have unlimited time. You don't have unlimited energy. Invest these resources where they generate returns. Starting from zero is hard alone. It's much easier with a community of people who share your goals. This is not the same as having friends. Friends are people you enjoy spending time with. Tribe is people you're building something with. People who understand your vision because they have a similar vision. People who celebrate your wins because your wins don't threaten them. People who push you because they want you to succeed. Where do you find these people? You go where ambitious people gather. Events, courses, online communities, business groups, mentorship programs. You put yourself in rooms where the average person is ahead of you. I found my first tribe at a business seminar I couldn't afford. I borrowed money to attend. I felt out of place. Everyone seemed more successful, more confident, more connected than me. But I stayed. I talked to people. I added value where I could. I followed up afterward. 3 people from that seminar became crucial in my journey. One became a business partner. One became a mentor. One became a close friend who held me accountable for years. That single event, which cost me money I didn't have, returned thousands of times its cost. Find your tribe, build your community, grow together. I see so many people who want to start from zero and immediately think they need to start a business. Let me be clear about something. Starting a business without preparation is one of the fastest ways to go from zero to negative. You don't just lose time, you lose money you don't have, you go into debt, you damage your confidence, you create trauma around entrepreneurship that takes years to heal. Here are the mistakes I see constantly. Copying others blindly. Someone sees a successful business and thinks, I'll do exactly that. But they don't understand why that business works. They copy the surface without understanding the substance. It fails. Starting without market analysis. They have an idea they think is great. They invest time and money without checking if anyone actually wants to pay for it. They build something nobody buys, ignoring the need for mentorship. They think they can figure it out alone. Pride prevents them from seeking guidance. They make mistakes that someone with experience could have warned them about. Years wasted on avoidable errors. If you want to build a business from nothing, start with a problem, not an idea. A problem. What do people struggle with? What frustrates them? What do they complain about? What pain do they experience that they would pay to eliminate? These questions lead to real businesses. I started my first successful venture not because I had a brilliant idea, because I noticed a problem. People in my community needed something that wasn't available locally. I figured out how to provide it. That's it. Not revolutionary, not genius, just solving an obvious problem. Here's the process. Identify a real problem that real people have. Create a simple solution. Test it before investing heavily. Get feedback. Improve. Test again. Only scale when you have proof that people will pay. Most people do this backward. They start with a big idea, invest everything, launch at scale, and then discover nobody wants it. Don't be most people. Start small. Validate first. Scale only after proof. This principle took me years to understand. Your income is determined by your skills. Your wealth is determined by what you keep. Many people with high incomes have no wealth. They earn a lot and spend more. They look successful, but are one bad month away from crisis. Meanwhile, people with modest incomes who save consistently build real wealth over time. Here's what I recommend. Save at minimum 10% of everything you earn. Not after expenses, before expenses. Pay yourself first. If you can save 20%, better. 30%, even better. When I started doing this, it felt impossible. I was earning barely enough to survive. 10% seemed like a fantasy, but I did it anyway. I adjusted my lifestyle downward. I found ways to reduce expenses I thought were fixed. And that 10% accumulated over time became the foundation of everything I built later. Financial discipline is not about deprivation. It's about priority. You're choosing your future over your present comfort. You're choosing freedom over temporary pleasure. Everyone has natural talents, things that come easier to them than to others, things they enjoy doing even without external reward, things they would do for free and have done for free. Your job is to discover these talents and figure out how to monetize them. I see people chasing opportunities that don't match their strengths. They try to be entrepreneurs when they're natural employees. They try to be salespeople when they're natural creators. They fight against their nature instead of working with it. What are you naturally good at? What do people compliment you on? What would you do even if nobody paid you? What skill have you developed without formal training? These questions point to your unfair advantage. The thing you can do better than most people with less effort than most people, build your economic life around this advantage. This might be the most important principle in this entire video. Mentorship is not optional, it's essential. I wasted years making mistakes that a mentor could have warned me about in 5 minutes. Years, not months, years. Learning everything through personal trial and error is the slowest, most painful, most expensive way to grow. A good mentor has already walked the path you're trying to walk. They've made the mistakes, they've found what works. They can compress decades of learning into months of guidance. But here's where people go wrong. They want mentorship but offer nothing in return. They approach successful people with empty hands, asking for time and wisdom while providing no value. How do you get a mentor? First, choose someone who has results you want, not someone who talks about results, someone who has them. Second, find a way to add value to their life before asking for value from them. Help with something, solve a problem they have, demonstrate your worth. Third, be someone worth mentoring, show up prepared. Apply what they teach, respect their time, make them proud to be associated with you. I found my first real mentor by working for free. I offered to help with tasks nobody else wanted. I added value consistently for months before ever asking for advice. When I finally asked, he was willing to give because I had proven I wouldn't waste his investment. There are 2 ways to learn. From your own mistakes or from others' mistakes. The first way is expensive. The second way is smart. Every mistake you make costs time, money, energy, or relationships, often all 4, but you don't have to make every mistake yourself. You can study the failures of others. You can ask people who have failed what went wrong. You can read about failures, listen to failure stories, analyze why things didn't work. I made a habit of asking successful people about their failures, not their successes, their failures. What went wrong? What would they do differently? What do they wish someone had warned them about? These conversations saved me countless mistakes. Paths I would have walked that led to dead ends. Decisions I would have made that led to disaster. Time I would have wasted on approaches that don't work. Don't be proud about learning from others. Wisdom is not figuring everything out yourself. Wisdom is taking shortcuts wherever possible, while still learning the lessons. Massive transformation doesn't come from massive actions. It comes from tiny improvements compounded over time. 1% better every day doesn't sound impressive, but do the math. 1% improvement daily means you're 37 times better after 1 year. 37 times, not 37%. Times. This is the power of compound growth applied to personal development. A small improvement today leads to a slightly better tomorrow, which enables a slightly better day after that. The curve starts flat but eventually goes vertical. What does 1% better look like? Reading 10 pages instead of 0, exercising 15 minutes instead of skipping, having 1 difficult conversation you've been avoiding, cutting 1 bad habit, adding 1 good habit, tiny, almost invisible, but compounding. I track my daily improvements, not elaborate tracking, simple. Did I do something today that made me slightly better than yesterday? Yes or no? Most days, yes. Some days, no. But over months and years, the accumulated effect is undeniable. Money is not something you chase. Money is something you receive in exchange for value. This understanding changes everything. Instead of asking, how do I make money? You start asking, how do I create value? Instead of chasing opportunities, you start creating solutions. Instead of taking, you start giving. The people who earn the most money are the people who solve the biggest problems for the most people. This is not a philosophy. This is how markets work. Value given equals value received. What problems can you solve? What value can you create? What service can you provide that people need and will pay for? These questions lead to income. Asking, how do I get money, leads nowhere. I shifted my entire focus from earning to creating. I stopped thinking about what I could extract and started thinking about what I could contribute. Paradoxically, this mindset shift dramatically increased my income. Because when you focus on value creation, money follows naturally. There is a momentum principle in life that most people don't understand. Success attracts more success. Money attracts more money. Growth attracts more growth. When you start winning, even small wins, you enter a positive spiral. Your confidence increases, which improves your performance, which creates more wins, which increases your confidence further. Opportunities appear because success makes you visible. Connections form because successful people want to be around other successful people. This is why starting is so important. The first win, no matter how small, begins the spiral. The first dollar earned from your own effort proves it's possible. The first skill developed opens doors to other skills. I remember my first major win. It was small by any objective standard, but it changed my psychology permanently. Suddenly I knew I could do it. Suddenly the next goal seemed achievable because I had achieved something. That internal shift was worth more than the external result. Start the spiral, get one win, then another, then another. Momentum builds, and once momentum is on your side, progress becomes almost automatic. In a world of instant gratification, patience is a superpower. Most people can't wait. They want results now. They give up when results don't come immediately. They abandon promising paths because the journey takes too long. This impatience creates opportunity for patient people. If you can simply persist longer than others, you win. Not because you're smarter, because you stayed when others left. I worked on my first major project for 3 years before seeing significant results. 3 years. Most people quit after 3 months, some quit after 3 weeks. By simply continuing, I outlasted all competition. The market eventually rewarded my persistence. Trust the process. Keep taking action. Keep improving. Keep moving toward your goal. The timeline might be longer than you want. The path might be harder than you expected. But if you persist, you will eventually arrive. Most people won't persist. This is your advantage. As you grow, share your growth. As you learn, teach what you learn. As you succeed, help others succeed. This is not just ethics, this is strategy. When you help others rise, they become your network. When you share knowledge, you process it more deeply yourself. When you inspire, you reinforce your own inspiration. I share everything I learn, not because I'm generous, because sharing benefits me. Every time I explain a concept to someone else, I understand it better myself. Every person I help becomes a connection who might help me later. Every knowledge shared comes back multiplied. Don't hoard what you know. Don't protect your secrets so tightly that nobody benefits. The universe rewards givers more than takers. This is not wishful thinking, this is observable pattern. I want to leave you with the most important principle of all. You're not something to be found. You're something to be created. People say, find yourself, as if there's a fixed identity waiting to be discovered. This is wrong. You're not waiting somewhere to be found. You're being built day by day, decision by decision, action by action. Who will you be in 5 years? That person doesn't exist yet. You're creating them right now. Every habit you build shapes them. Every skill you develop empowers them. Every relationship you form influences them. Every choice you make constructs them. This is the greatest project of your life. Not your business, not your career, not your wealth. You. The person you become determines everything else. Start from nothing? Good. You have no baggage. You have no limitations from past success. You have complete freedom to build yourself exactly as you want. No money, you can earn it. No connections, you can build them. No skills, you can develop them. No experience, you can gain it. Nothing is fixed, everything is possible, but only through action, only through persistence, only through the daily choice to become slightly better than yesterday. Write in the comments what you will start doing today, not what you plan to do someday, what you will do today. Share this video with someone who needs to hear it, someone who is stuck at zero and doesn't know how to begin, and remember this. If you weren't born with advantages, you can create them. Your starting point is not your ending point. Your past is not your future. Build yourself. Create your life. Start today. Nobody else will do it for you. Nobody else can do it for you. The only person who can change your life is you. Start now.